What's up everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so because it is May and we are still self-isolating, today I'm going to share some of my Netflix recommendations for what you should be watching during quarantine. So when I'm not taking my classes for college or doing homework or filming YouTube videos, I am probably watching Netflix. And so I've been watching a lot of TV, a lot of shows. It has been great, but also I feel like I sit in the same spot for hours on end every single day, which is very bad. And so this list is hopefully going to be some more niche TV shows, not going to mention Tiger King because that is already so popular, but trying to delve a little deeper into getting shows that maybe you've not heard of before. But I would also recommend Tiger King because it was honestly a really good documentary. I enjoyed watching it. So the first 3 TV shows that I'm going to talk about fall more into the crime category of television. So the first TV show is Waco. It is based on true events that have happened in the United States, and so I thought it was really interesting because before this I didn't really know what Waco was or what the events occurred there were. But basically this documentary goes over the events leading up to Waco. So it goes through the events of the government and also the people inside and their communications and what was happening before the tragedy that ended up occurring. And so this was really interesting and it makes me think a lot about the government. And so the next TV show is called Manhunt Unabomber. And so this series, similar to Waco, went through the events leading up to the capturing of the Unabomber. And I thought this was interesting as well because I didn't really know much about the Unabomber, but that he works at UC Berkeley, the college that I currently go to, and so that was all I really knew about it. So this series follows the FBI and how they used linguistic analysis to basically figure out who the Unabomber was and then go out and get the Unabomber. And this was really fascinating because I'm in a linguistics class right now and we were actually doing this sort of comparative analysis for words, and basically like how they caught the Unabomber is sort of what we were doing in class. So I found it super fascinating and it was just a really interesting show. I love learning more about like what's happened in real life because this was also based off of a true story. And so next is a TV show called Person of Interest. It is what I am watching right now. I have been straight up binging this show. It is Friday right now. I started on Tuesday and I'm on season 3 and each season has like 20 episodes in it. So I have been flying through this TV show. And so this TV show is super cool. It's sort of like Criminal Minds or Grey's Anatomy, where every single episode there's someone in danger and then the main characters go and have to save the person in danger. But the cool thing about this show is that I feel like the main plot of Person of Interest is something that could happen in real life today, because the way that they go find these people to go save is based off of AI. A computer will spit out numbers and it knows who is in trouble, who's going to kill, who's going to get killed, because it is basically like a computer that is watching everyone in the world at all times, which low-key is happening right now. And so it shows like cameras on street lights, on traffic lights, in your cell phone, and they're all watching you. And so that's how they can find the people that are going to get targeted and killed, and then they go out and save those people. So I really find that AI aspect really interesting. And if you're interested in crime, it's a really cool show and it's very wild. There's so many gunfights and I'm just like, dang, how has the main character not died yet? Because literally every single episode he's in some tricky situations, getting guns pointed at him, getting bombed and stuff. I'm like, wow. No way this dude would be alive in real life. So I really like the show so far. I think it's really interesting and really cool. So another show that I just finished literally 10 years after the fact that it was popular is Glee.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
And so I feel like this TV show back in like middle school, everyone was watching, but I've never seen it until now. And it was very interesting. I think some of the stuff, it's so bad that it's good almost, that like I want to be able to relate to all the memes and all the videos that people post. So you have to watch the show in order to relate to what people are talking about the show. And I feel like now I spend some time literally watching compilations of TikToks of Glee memes, and it's just really, really bad. And I think it's like sort of a classic for people our age growing up to watch this show. So I watched it. A lot of the jokes were very non-PC. And so I think a lot of the stuff that happened in the show wouldn't fly today because some of the characters just say things that are like way over the line. But it's a good show, sort of mindless. You could do other stuff while watching it, so I definitely recommend. The TV show that I just finished watching was Gilmore Girls. This is also similar to Glee, like a feel-good kind of TV show, coming-of-age TV show following a mother and a daughter and like their family relationships. I think it's really interesting because it brings up a lot of interesting conversations around class and privilege. And then you also follow the daughter along high school and college. For me, that's something that's interesting to watch. So it's like a coming of age, feel good TV show that you could also do other stuff while you're watching because it doesn't really take too much focus or concentration to watch. Something also on Netflix that I liked was the documentary Cheer. It followed a bunch of cheerleaders on a cheer team go to their national competition. At first I was like, would I really be interested in that? But after watching it, it was actually really, really good. And it goes into the discussion around cheerleading as a competitive sport, as well as exploring some of the kids on the cheer team and the struggles that they grew up with. It was really, really interesting because the kids on the TV show are real people because it is a documentary, so it's all real, and it really goes into their background and maybe family problems. And it's just so cool to see like that group of people who have had so many struggles overcome and then potentially win their national championship and all the hard work that they put into it. It was a really, really compelling documentary. It was really good. And so next is the TV show You on Netflix. And it basically follows a guy who is a murderer and like the inside mind and workings of him, which is really, really fascinating because I think the TV show does a really good job of getting you to sympathize with the main character who's also a murderer, which is not someone that you'd think you feel bad for, but then just seeing him operate and seeing that he does care and he does have feelings, but he had a bad childhood. The way they edit the TV show and make the TV show, you almost want to root for the main character, which makes it super, super fascinating. It's definitely like a good psychological thriller because you're like, oh crap. It's really good. And so finally for TV shows, I'm going to recommend the Vampire Diaries. And so similar to Glee, this is a late one that I just watched this year as well. So I'm behind on all of the fandom trains, but I really liked it. It's a lot of seasons, so you can spend a lot of your quarantine time watching this TV show. And it just follows the lives of like humans and vampires, and they come across obstacles like typical teen TV shows, similar to Teen Wolf almost, where it's like mythological creatures and they do these tasks. I really liked it, which is probably why everyone else also likes it, and it's a classic for teenagers, people my age. And so if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. It's not as dumb as it looks because you hear like, oh, vampire, young love, you think it's not going to be good, but it's also a really good TV show. And next I will mention some honorable mentions in Love is Blind and Too Hot to Handle. So these two TV shows are new to Netflix and they are like dating reality TV shows. I watched both of them just because everyone else is. So I was like, okay, I will watch them. Love is Blind, I would definitely say is better than Too Hot to Handle. Too Hot to Handle, I literally think I lost brain cells while watching. The whole premise just... It was not a good TV show, and the show I just felt like had no direction. It was just weird. It was like a bad version of Love Island. At least Love is Blind, the people seem more genuine. On Too Hot to Handle, it just seemed like everyone was there for clout. That show is just so stupid. So you can watch these two if you have nothing to do and you want to check out the hype. So many people are talking about these two shows right now that you just sort of have to watch it, even if they aren't that good. You just have to check them out. I would would definitely recommend Love is Blind over Too Hot to Handle. And so yeah, those are my current Netflix recommendations for you to watch during quarantine. These are all shows that I watched in the past 6 months or so they are all pretty recent in what I've watched. And yeah, leave in the comments down below if you have any Netflix recommendations that I should check out or any other TV shows, because when I finish Person of Interest, I will need some new TV shows to start binging. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time with a new video.